Football, fucking hell. Premier League, fucking hell. Chelsea 2, Liverpool 2, fucking hell. Hello and welcome to the Football Parliament and welcome to the review of Chelsea versus Liverpool game. Start करने से पहले as a very biased, as a very loving Chelsea fan, मैं सिर्फ दो चीजें कहूंगा. If this game deserved a winner, it deserved to be us. And secondly, more importantly, I'm absolutely proud of the way Chelsea played today. Football as we like it, total football. Chelsea with 11 players who gave it their all, who played for this batch, who showed that they don't need any 100 billion striker who doesn't want to play for the club to carry them. Chelsea, who showed glimpses of what I saw in the UCL run, the way that we attacked today. Start करेंगे game के review से. The game started on a bright note for Chelsea. Actually, we'll have a quick mention of Sadio Mane, जिसने Premier League history का I think fastest yellow card लिया. But very quickly, I think Chelsea were on the front foot with 5 to 6 minutes played. However, कहते हैं ना, you don't take your chances, and then a team like Liverpool are going to make you pay. It was 0-0 where when Trent Alexander-Arnold का major mistake हुआ and chance fell straight to Christian Pulisic. Now I don't really want to be overcritical of Christian Pulisic because I think he had an absolutely fantastic game. A, a reminder that this was Pulisic's first game in his preferred position after so long. This is one player who's been playing at right wing back, left wing back. He's a 5'9" dribbler who's being played at center forward against tall 6 foot centre backs of the Premier League. Yet he hasn't complained. मतलब you look at the other players ना, Romelu Lukaku who's a striker. मेरे को ये वीडियो में ज्यादा बात नहीं करनी है Romelu Lukaku की. He's a striker. There's a small change in Tuchel's system and he goes out complaining. This is Pulisic, a guy who's been shifted each and everywhere, who's received his fair bit of criticism from Chelsea fans. I won't deny that. ठीक है. He could not round Keller off for the first goal, and I was very disappointed. Obviously, seeing it with a lot of emotions, मैं बहुत गुस्सा भी था उस पे. But as the game gradually progressed, as Pulisic got his goal, as we saw him improving, मेरे दिमाग में ये आया कि जब उसने कॉर्टुआ को राउंड करके चेल्सी को यूसीएल सेमीफाइनल में लीड दी थी, तभी मैं उसका सबसे बड़ा फैन था. और आज जब उसने वो हमें नहीं कर पाया, तो आई शुडंट बी सो क्रिटिकल दैट आई डोंट सपोर्ट माय प्लेयर व्हेन ही had a bad moment. Moving on from that, Trevor Chalobah, another bad moment. Chelsea का तो history रहा है कि individual mistakes do cost us. Pulisic firstly could not take the chance, and then Chalobah, firstly I don't think that ball was one that he should be heading. That ball was definitely one जिसको उसको पैर से क्लियर आउट करना चाहिए था. He tries to head that ball out which falls to Sadio Mane. And Liverpool की टीम में जैसे finishers है, you किसी के पास भी जाता है, I definitely feel कि गोल हो जाता, be it Mohamed Salah, be it Diego Jota. It went to Sadio Mane, who rounded the keeper off and finished brilliantly. That was 1-0 to Chelsea. I was so upset over there because कैसा है ना, there are two things. One, you play bad, the opposition outplays you and you concede. उसमें you would be like, नहीं अच्छा हो रहा है, but जो हो रहा है वो fair तो हो रहा है. But जो आज हुआ first half में, Chelsea were the better team in the first half, and yet Liverpool went 2-0 up. So this was a feeling of injustice. This was a feeling of कि ये नहीं होना चाहिए, because it happened again. It was the link that Chelsea fans were most worried about. Mohamed Salah against Marcus Alonso. We all know Marcus Alonso's defensive frailties at be it left back, left wing back. हर जगह he's not defensively composed, and when he goes face to face with the best winger in the Premier League, or you may argue the best winger in world football, it's not going to be easy. Marcus Alonso tried to read that Salah ki wo andar aayega and he'll look for the far post finish, but credit to Mohamed Salah, he did not do what the defender expected. He put enough surprise by shifting it to the other side, andar se leke gaya, and a near post finish which beat Edward Mendy. 2-0 था for Chelsea over here. मैं सारे hopes और expectations खो गया था. I was just wondering कि why did Pulisic not take his chance? Why did Chelsea not make the best of all their, you could say, forward plays? Because Liverpool played a high line, and I think Chelsea very well exploited it in the first half. But I think justice was finally served when Chelsea got a goal from the most unlikely of goal scorers. If you were to tell me कि Chelsea equalized, Chelsea का 2-1 हुआ है and who scored the goal, then मैं अगर 11 बेट्स लगाता तो मेरा 11th bet, probably 10th bet, excluding the goalkeeper, would be Mateo Kovacic, because how rarely does he score? How often does he score? It's very, very rare. But this goal from Mateo Kovacic, I think this goal deserves a lot more credit. It's not just any other volley. It's not just any other banger. I think this goal deserves so much credit for the way he set it up for himself. ऐसा नहीं था कि ball came straight at him. The ball was behind him. So any or most of the players in this situation, according to me, would take a touch from their chest or would head it back into play, which is sometimes a fair option. But Kovacic realized that Chelsea need shots over here. There's no enough, and Liverpool have tall centre backs over there. So what he did was he started backpedaling. And we don't see that very often. He started backpedaling and then he had a lash at the ball. And what a finish that was from Mateo Kovacic. 2-1 to Chelsea. Lots and lots of hope. Game थोड़ा और बड़ा. Half time was approaching. I felt कि चलो 2-1 पे half time है. It's fine. Tuchel will have a lot to build. But then this one man, I praised Mateo Kovacic. How can I not? How can I go without not praising a certain N'Golo Kante? N'Golo Kante. He is fucking everywhere. One line that the commentator said is कि French में everywhere का मतलब क्या होता है? If you don't know, just use the word N'Golo Kante, because ये बंदा है. He's sweeping for you at the back. He's joining in attacks from the right. He is making those overlapping runs. He is fucking everywhere. And I think that was a really, really good display from N'Golo Kante. One side note that adds, in 2018 when Maurizio Sarri came to Chelsea, how many Chelsea fans criticized him for moving Kante away from his natural defensive mid position and trying him in a more box-to-box role, which Sarri justified by probably believing in his in his dribbling abilities, in his link-up abilities, his passing abilities, his movement. And look at it; it's paying off, because Kante right now, for me, I think is one of the best box to box midfielders in the Premier League. Some people still put him in, the center defensive midfielders ka debate. Bro, ठीक है, he was a world class center defensive mid for Leicester City and Chelsea उसके पहले दो season में. But now it's time you put him in the box to box wala debate, because he is a world class box to box midfielder. I won't hear anything otherwise. The second half started, a goal started first half में गए, but you can't say that the second half wasn't entertaining. I think it was a very dominant performance from Chelsea once again in the second half. Even though Liverpool, I could say, had the better shots on goal, this is one thing that Chelsea probably lacked in the second half, despite all their plays. I think the closest that Chelsea got scoring, correct me if I'm wrong, is the Pulisic effort, which I think he really, really took it well, because when the cross came in from, maybe it was Marcus Alonso, uh, Mason Mount jumped for it. So the natural reaction of a player would be a little subdued. It will be a little distracted, because he expected either Mount or Van Dijk to head that ball away. But despite that, Pulisic reacted very well, showed some great reflexes, and slightly better contact hota ho Christian Pulisic ka. So that would be 3-2 for Chelsea. Nevertheless, the game continued. A big second half display from Edward Mendy. I'm really, really grateful and really proud to have a keeper, a shot stopper like Mendy, and he's certainly going to be missed now that he's going for AFCON. I wish him and all the players, all the Chelsea players, even the players that won display for Liverpool, the best for this tournament. But what a display that was from Mendy. Fearless goalkeeping. I remember that Salah effort, which was going into the top corner. Mendy was diving back. He knew that he was going to hit the post, and trust me, I've seen it in real games when I've played. मैं खुद keeper तो नहीं हूँ, but I've seen keepers who looks much more painful. Is much more painful than what actually looks on the screen. So great goalkeeping from Edward Mendy. One big highlight of the game for me, one very big highlight, was the front three of Pulisic, Mount, and Havertz. This front three reminded me of how we played in the latter end of last season, how we played against Crystal Palace, how we played against Real Madrid in the second leg. Very fluent football, very free flowing football. ठीक है, at all times you might not have a central figure in the box to aim at, even though Kai Havertz sort of provides it with his height being 6'2". But this is the football that we want. This is, the Chelsea fans, when they said ki Chelsea are good without Romelu Lukaku. Obviously, we are. We won the Champions League without him, but we won it because the front three is probably very free flowing when it comes to these three players being Pulisic, and also not to forget ki I think if Timo Werner played in this game, he would have had a great run as well. I really really liked how these players exploited Liverpool's high line. और क्या बोलने के लिए है, विंग बैक्स, यस विंग बैक्स, मतलब और चेल्सी टूकल के सिस्टम का मेन पार्ट विंग बैक्स है, एंड व्हेन यू हैव योर टू स्टार्टिंग विंग बैक्स आउट इंजर्ड एंड योर you don't have good cover at right wing back. So basically what Chelsea played today was their second choice left wing back against Mohamed Salah, and a right center back or right back Aspilicueta at wing back, whose legs are totally gone. He's not got the speed. He's not got the, he's not got what the basic things that you need in terms of running from a left, so from a wing back, from any wing back. But how well did we cope with it? I think White's threat was very good. Kante Kovacic with a very solid performance. Jorginho came on to bring even more solidarity. Trevor Chalobah, I'll just mention one thing about him, that he bounced back really well. It's very, very easy for young players to, just क्या बोलते हैं, have one bad mistake at the start of the game and then spoil the entire evening for themselves as well as the team. But it takes real grit, it takes real mentality, a real courage to bounce back from a poor mistake and then contribute to your team. Because I think from the moment, I think Chalobah ke do mistakes bure the at the very start of the game. One in which he presented Sadio Mane with an open chance, and the second one which led to the goal. I think wo bhi Mane hi tha. But from that, he made some amazing tackles. He looked very composed on the ball. So this is quite surprising because, when he was clearly not playing to avoid another mistake, but he was not trying to be a escapist. He was trying to be a differential, is what I'll say. He was not playing to avoid another mistake. He was playing to have a difference in the team. He was composed with his passing, and this is what you want to see. Okay, I won't completely justify his performance because in the end, if हर एक individual का mistake justify करने लग जाएंगे, so your team's never going to win. ठीक है, I won't spend too much of time talking about it. Other people will definitely. But all in all, after that mistake, I think that was very composed from Trevor Chalobah. Once again, I'm really, really proud of my team. I'm really proud of how the 11 players played. All of them worked their, asses off. If that's a appropriate phrase to use. They all of them, worked their socks off is something that I'll use instead. A great display. I'll be a little disheartened because win chahiye tha. Now, in terms of the title, I think Manchester City are the runaway leaders. I don't think there's any doubt about that. In the end, I saw the commentators actually say ki Chelsea are out of the title race, Liverpool aren't. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Liverpool are a point behind us. Okay, they have got a game in hand, but they are 11 points behind Manchester City, and they are now going to be without the major part of the squad because losing Mane, Salah, and Keita is not a small thing. Chelsea, on the other hand, will lose Edward Mendy, which is a big loss. But in all respects to him, Kepa, we have already seen, is a competent backup keeper. He can do well. He will do well. I'm saying it right now. He will do well. We've got Ziyech, who hasn't been called up to the Moroccan squad. So we'll see. Matlab, winning the league isn't the only thing. Our league position matters as well. Our league position hasn't actually really been good over the years because last year it was fourth. Usse pehle it was fourth. So 2 fours in 2 consecutive years. Usse pehle in the Maurizio Sarri season it was third. Usse pehle it was fifth. So matlab, the last time we even finished in the top two was the season we won the title. So I think winning second also means a lot to Chelsea. Now we shift our focus obviously to the Carabao Cup game, which I will definitely not take lightly because I don't want a trophy-less season from Chelsea, considering that it's really tough for us to win the Premier League, and Champions League is never an easy task as well. But ठीक we'll see. Uh, that was it. A very short reaction. I think थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो गया होगा आज because I had a lot to talk about it. But if you are listening till the end, I'm really grateful. You are liking the content. I'm really grateful. Make sure to drop it a like. Make sure to comment your thoughts, any suggestions and all you have for us. Make sure you can drop it down in the comment section. We also have an Instagram that goes by the same name. तो वहाँ पर हमें DM कर सकते हो. We'll open your DMs of course. हम लोग famous नहीं है. But that is it for today. For more top quality football content, keep listening to the Football Parliament. Thank you.